Today I'm going to show you guys how to pack and ship your home brews. So you've already brewed your beer and it came out great, you drink it, whatever, it's good. But probably if you are like me, sure, you get a lot of satisfaction from brewing beer and it tastes really good and you enjoy that. But there's really nothing like actually sharing your beer with some of your friends, your family, whatever. And in my case, if you haven't read much about me, I used to be in the Navy. So a lot of my friends are spread all over the country. I live in the Phoenix metro area, and I have friends that live all the way out in the Northeast, New England area, out in Connecticut. I have others that live up in Washington State where I used to live. And, I want to send some of my homebrews to them. But sending out homebrews is not necessarily a thing where you just throw your beers into a box and put a label on it and send it off with UPS. Because there's a couple things that you have to make sure don't happen so that your beers actually make it to your destination. First thing is, you don't want to use USPS. The United States Postal Service actually doesn't allow you to send alcoholic beverages through their system. So if you're going to be sending out homebrews, you're going to have to use someone like UPS or FedEx. And to make sure that UPS and FedEx delivers to your homebrews, you're going to have to make sure of a couple of things. So I'm going to go ahead and start out with what you need to have as material, as far as materials go, so that your beers get to your destination. So the first thing is, you want to have Ziploc bags, the freezer storage bags. I use the gallon size ones, and the reason to use a Ziploc bag is in case one of your bottles breaks. If that bottle starts to leak and you have a box and there's beer leaking out of it, the shipping company is more than likely going to throw the box away and not deliver it for you. I know, maybe a sad story, so you don't want that to happen. Make sure that you put each bottle into a separate Ziploc bag. If breaking is going to be a problem, then what you want to do is you want to make sure that you wrap each bottle into bubble wrap to keep bottles from clinking with each other and causing that to break. So what we're going to do is we're going to put each bottle in a Ziploc bag. We're going to wrap them with bubble wrap. We're going to put the bottles in the box, and then we're going to find stuff to just stuff into the box so that the bottles don't move around, so they don't clink with each other, they don't break each other. And this is basically safeguarding all the bottles, because if one bottle breaks, it doesn't matter that there's still 3, 4, 5, 6, however many bottles you're sending out in the box still. One bottle breaks, your box is probably not going to be delivered. So that's our goal for today, and I'm going to start out doing this really simple. I'm going to take the first Ziploc bag, and I'm going to take a bottle of beer. Nothing too hard that you can't figure out without common sense. Now, one thing I like to do is I have a few, not necessarily beer labels, but I like to put in what beer style the beer that I'm sending is. I like to give my friends a beer description. Some of them don't know beer as well as I do, so I give them a little bit of a beer description. I tell them the beer temperature, where they should be serving the temperature to get a better experience with it, and I give them some instructions on how to serve the beer. So I'll tell them, okay, this is a beer style where you need to make sure you keep the yeast sediment in the bottle and not in the glass. So all that's in here, and I also have a link where I tell them, hey, here's how to actually serve a homebrew beer, because homebrew, unlike commercial beers, is not filtered. And a lot of times I'll send these beers out to my friends, and they'll just pour the whole bottle in, not expecting any of that yeast sediment to go in, and makes the beer kind of yeasty. And then they come back and say, hey, that beer was good, but that last little sip I took was just, wow, it was awkward flavor there. So I want to make sure that doesn't happen. So all I did, put the bottle, and I just wrapped it around like this. Not a whole lot to it. I'm going to do the same thing for all the other 4 bottles. Just take a Ziploc bag, put the beer bottle in there. Notice a gallon size fits a bottle just perfectly. Get the beer label in there so they know what bottle it is when they try to open it. And roll this up as much as you can. Lock it shut. There we go. Okay, so once you've put all your bottles into the Ziploc bags, what you want to do is you want to take your bubble wrap and you want to extend it out. Then you're simply going to place your bottle over the bubble wrap and you're going to wrap it around. Give it maybe just a couple turns, just like that. You'll take a pair of scissors, just cut this through. There we go. Take your packing tape. Make sure that's taped up. And my box is 8 inches by 11 3/4. So there's going to be a little bit of space whenever I place the bottle into the box. So what I do is I don't fold the bottom or the top edge of the bottle, and I just throw in the bottle into the box. Just place it in there like that, and that extra bit of bubble wrap helps the bottle cushion so it doesn't move around. And we're going to be stuffing it anyways, but that's basically what I do. So now I'm going to do the same with the other bottles. Okay, so now that I have wrapped every single bottle into the bubble wrap, what I want to do is I want to make sure that whenever all the bottles fit in the box, that they don't shuffle around. So this may take some playing around. You may have to take the bottles out again. And one thing that I actually would recommend that you do is whatever excess bubble wrap you have, you can use that to place it into your box, just like that. And then you'll want to start placing your bottles in here, trying to figure out what's the best way that they will all fit with the least amount of movement going around. So you can wrap them up, and again, setting bottles can actually get expensive because they'll go by the weight. So if you have space where you don't want to put another bottle, one thing you can do, you can actually grab old plastic bags and just stuff them in wherever you can to take up the space, that extra space that will keep all these bottles from moving or going pretty much anywhere that you don't want them to go. So in the end, your box is going to essentially be pretty packed, where if you were to close the box, there's going to be essentially no room left over anywhere, and your box will be pretty safe to be shipped. So pack in your bottles and move the box around slowly, making sure you don't shake the bottles. You don't want them to move around too much, but feel if they shift. And if they don't really shift that much, then you know that you've got a pretty good setup going on, and you're basically ready to close your box, take it over to your favorite local UPS or FedEx provider, and send it off to your friends. So that's pretty much it on how you, so that's pretty much all I've got on how to pack and ship your beer. I hope this helps. I've included a link in my blog where if you want to use the same beer labels that I use, you can go ahead and just download the same labels that I use. And I also have included a link in those labels so that you don't have to explain to your friends how to serve their homebrew. They can just go to my website, watch the video that I've already made, so you don't have to redo that over again. Just send them over to my website and I explain how to serve homebrew, and you should be good to go. So I hope you enjoy this, and I hope your friends like the beer, and please leave me any comments that you have, any questions. If you have any other suggestions on how you can do this better, please don't hesitate to leave me a comment and let me know what you do to make sure that your bottles arrive to your destination on time. One last thing, if you're sending bottles to a competition, you can use, or sometimes the competition will not want you to stuff the box with those packing peanuts. So if you're sending to competition, make sure that you actually talk to them and find out what they want. But this is a pretty good way to send beers to a competition. And if you're not sending to a competition, if you're sending to friends, then packing peanuts can actually be a good way to stuff the box with something so that it doesn't move around, and make sure that your bottles don't break and get to your destination on time. So that's pretty much it. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to visit brewbeeranddrinkit.com.
Like beer.
Just randomly combine caramel, malt, hops, and you're fine.
Right there. Let's do it.
All right, that's that.
We'll see. We're missing two.